Blog Talk Radio, the world's largest online radio network.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the JBlairBrown Show, right here on Blog Talk Radio. I'm your host and biggest Pam here on Living the Dream with JBlairBrown. You can call me Juice. I generally have a slew of announcements before I get into our interview with our esteemed guest for today, Mr. Mykelti Williamson. But I'm just going to give you guys our dial-in number, 347-539-5805. Mr. Williamson is on the air with us. Hello, sir. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Oh, I am just fine now that I know you're on the air with us. You had my heart going a little pitter-patter because I said, maybe I should have told him to call in a little bit before the show goes on the air. But, that's live radio, so it keeps me on my toes.
That's right, that's right. Yeah. It's I'm excited to be on your show. I'm really happy to be on the air with you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you so much. You have no idea. Last week, I had a gentleman on. We were on with Chaz Palminteri and someone who apparently knew you. And he started going on and on about you and finally said, well, this is not about Mykelti Williamson.
Oh, that's
and that is Mr. Tony Spiridakis.
Oh, yes. I know Tony very well. I miss Tony. I haven't gotten a chance to see him too much.
Well, he has such high accolades for you till I was wondering, well, maybe I should have had Mykelti on the show before I had Tony. He went on and on and on, but he just high regards for you.
Oh, that's very kind.
I have to apologize because in doing the research to have you on the show, I found out so much more about you. I thought I knew all there was to know about you. And, of course, that was not the case. I mean, going through, I'm big on IMDb. So going through that IMDb page, I don't know who keeps that up for you, but they're doing an awesome job.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. I have my niece here with me. She's my niece's sister. And she was going through it. She was like, History Blues, really? History Blues? Really? The White Shadow? I mean, she was so thrilled. And the one thing that she said to me, which was kind of a slap in the face to me, she said, well, I didn't know he was as old as he is. So I asked when you were born, and you're older than me. So I go, so you thought he was younger than me? And apparently she did. She thought you were around her age. You look good. That's the reason why.
Well, thank you. They say black don't crack.
That's right. Well, mine must have cracked. But she's 40, and she really thought that you were her age, so you carry it well. You carry it very well. But I want to get started on this interview because our show really caters to up-and-coming independent filmmakers and actors, and so it's really important that guys like you who have lived it, who's continuing to live it, leave them with some hope and tell them, what you've done. Maybe someone can model their, pattern their career after yours, which is just stellar. So we want to get started on that. And just take it from the beginning. How did you get into acting?
Well, I was an Air Force brat. And it was something I always wanted to do. I saw a show when I was a kid. I saw reruns of a show called Leave It to Beaver. And and so I thought because Beaver got along with his family, and that was real, I thought that my family was on television just like his family. And my bubble got bursted. But my family put me in plays at a church. Like most people start out as gospel singers, I started out as a gospel actor, and one thing led to the other. Yeah, one thing led to the other, and for me, success is not a destination; it's a journey, and you have to keep at it. Because the first time I made six figures, I thought, "Wow, made it," but if you're not smart, that money won't last. So you got to keep grinding. So just, I started as a child actor, and I'm fortunate enough that I had the right teachers because they taught me the secret is to not become a huge star because people burn out on stars, but to be a working actor who's so versatile that people don't even know it's you from film to film. And that is what has sustained my career, is people are just now in the last few years realizing it's the same guy who's been doing all these different roles.
Absolutely. I saw a film with you in it and said, that's not him, is it? And that's Lucky Number Slevin. So I have to ask you, where did you get that character? Was that character written that way, or did you do your own research and say, this is the way this character would be?
No, the character was written just as a straight thug, a henchman. And so when I went in, I remember vividly, I did the role, and it was so boring. And I looked around the room and I said, that's what everybody's going to do who walks in the door. I says, let me show you what I do with a role and why I get paid. So if you want me, you don't come lowbrow, right? And they started laughing like, this dude is so arrogant. But it wasn't arrogant. So I just popped in my teeth and turned my back, popped in my teeth, and frumped my clothes up, hiked my pants up real high, and then just did the role with a guy who wasn't that bright, who had a bit of a lisp, and they were on the floor. And so that's how I got that job. But, I don't like to do what most people would do. I don't even see periods and commas in the same place as all my competition. I just don't. I just move things around because that's what it is.
Wow, that is awesome. That is awesome. I tell you, when I saw you, and you broke up that monotony. And you're absolutely right. That's what everybody else did. But you broke up that monotony. Now, let me ask you. You were standing next to, I think it was Dorian Missick, who we've also had on the show. Now, what was his take on what you were doing?
I love Dorian. He just got it. At the time, Dorian was this upcoming actor from New York. He had been tearing up the stage in New York, and he had a really, really hot buzz about him, and he had the talent to back it up. And so he was cool. It didn't throw him one bit. He just jumped in there and just started flowing with me. That's Dorian Missick is a bad dude.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Well, we have a caller on the line. Caller from last four digits are 3772. Go ahead.
Hello, Mykelti. I just wanted to say I love you. When you did Bubba, that was, oh my goodness, that character I love so much. That's my favorite character for you. But I wanted to know, what is your favorite character? Who do you relate to the most?
There's something in all the characters I like. And first of all, thank you so much for the love, and I love you right back. And I'm really happy to talk to someone who has been affected by the work that I've been doing, because I shoot from the heart. But the character Bubba, I actually got from the Holy Spirit, and I got him in prayer, and I was like, wow. And so this guy looked at me, and my assistant, and he said, "You look strange today, T." I said, "No, I'm cool, man. I just have something real special I'm going to do with this audition." And I did it, and it really affected people. So I actually had a little supernatural help reaching out and touching people. So I can't really take all the credit for it.
Well, yes, it did affect me. It was truly wonderful.
Great. And then as far as favorite characters, I like something about every character, but there's a character in a film called Truth or Consequences, New Mexico, and the character is Marcus. If you can see Truth or Consequences, New Mexico, which was directed by Kiefer Sutherland and written by Brad Merman, you'll see that's my favorite character of all the characters I've done. And on television, the favorite character is a guy by the name of Fearless Bobby Jones on a television show called Boomtown. That has been my favorite television character so far.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Thank you, caller.
Thank you, and nice talking to you.
Good talking to you.
Thank you.
Wow, I'm glad. I'm quite sure she will be. I'm glad that you really identify about. First of all, you seem to be very gracious towards your audience. You don't find a lot of that. Sometimes actors. I'm not going to say all actors, but sometimes actors, I feel, get outside of themselves, as it were, and kind of forget where they come from. But you seem to always be gracious towards people who show affection towards you. How did you come about having that attitude?
Well, I put my pants on the same way as everybody else, and I come from the background of what you do is not who you are. That's just what you do, because that could change. You could change your mind, change your career, and then and you're still who you are. But I never saw myself as actor. I never wanted to be famous. I just wanted to be different people and get paid and make a whole lot of money, but I still wanted to be able to go out and get a hot dog. So I meet people, and they're like, oh my God. And I just calm them right down and go, hey, shh, come on now. It ain't all that. What's happening, and then bring it right back down to earth, because that's where I walk. I walk on the planet, But, yeah, but that's just real, because that's how it is anyway, even if I wasn't aware of it. I'm no different and no better than anybody else. I just have a different set of responsibilities than most people, and that is to elevate art and make sure it touches and teaches. You know what I mean? Mhm.
I was really impressed again with the research, and I want to give a shout out to Sasha.
Yes.
Is she on your PR team?
Yes.
Okay.
Sasha's awesome.
Sasha needs a raise.
Sasha's a bad girl, man. Sasha's
all over it. Okay?
Yes,
She's all over it.
Yes, she is.
I really appreciated dealing with her. So, shout out to you for identifying, a good PR rep, and shout out to her for being one, because it's not always the way. But she's very approachable,
very nice.
and yeah, I always like to do that. And that brings me to my next set of questions. At what point did you realize that you needed a team? And I'll tell you why I'm asking. I also help people with PR and do some management on a limited basis with the management, just because I'm just one person. But at some point, and I tell all actors this, or all artists, at some point, if your career is elevating, you need more than you. And that's why it's called show business. So at what point would you recommend to our audience members, people just don't know. Sometimes I find people just getting into it saying, okay, I need a manager. No, wait. First, you don't have money. Okay? I can't live off a handshake. So when did it happen for you, and then what difference did it make in your career?
Well, it's important to have a team, and you have to remain cognizant of the fact that it's not just you. By the time people see me on television, so many other people have been involved. By the time I get on screen, there's attorneys who make sure the agreement is right and is mutually beneficial. There's an agent who's out there grinding. My agent doesn't sleep. David Rose, this cat doesn't sleep. And there's a team of guys over there, guys and girls that are always grinding in New York and L.A. to find the right projects that fit my personality and what I want to do with my art. And then there's Sasha Stoltz, who is from Toronto, Canada, but Sasha is like, her arms reach out in all these different directions like a spider. I mean, Sasha's got it covered with the promotional stuff there, too. And but it always takes a team, and no actor should ever see themselves as an island. Every move and every decision you make as an artist, music or whatever, it reflects on the people who represent you, the people who are related to you, and the people who call you friend. So you always make your decisions based on how it affects the world at large. Sometimes it's just a money gig, but I still elevate it because it's nothing new. It's something I've done before, like playing a cop. Okay, here's the 46th cop I've done. You know, so let's figure out a way to elevate it and not embarrass my team, my people who love me and call me friend, family, business associate, etc. So just remember, you're not an island. No person is an island. You know, and everybody's watching you all the time, and you just don't forget it. Yeah.
And when you started your management team, or your first manager, was that a family member?
No, my first manager was a woman who used to sing background for Ray Charles. A woman by the name of I'm dropping her name right now. I probably shouldn't say her name, but anyway, this woman who sang background for Ray Charles. I had a dance group, and she managed us for a while, and then I realized we didn't need a manager because I was doing all the work anyway. But my first acting manager was a guy by the name of Philip Miles, who was an amazing manager, wonderful, and this guy left no stone unturned. He was a brother from Philly, and he wore a safari hat. And on his business card, it said, "It's a jungle out there," you know. And that was just Philip. That's just how he rolled. And Philip really changed my life because he taught me a lot. He was an older brother, but he taught me a lot about how to carry yourself, how a deal is done, how to get yourself a raise. When you're in the room auditioning, how to position yourself for a raise so your team can actually negotiate for more money than you got last time. So he taught me all those things, which one day I'll put in a book. But I teach my students those things, you know, and it works.
Oh, so you're a coach as well?
Yeah, I run an acting workshop twice a year. It's called the Character Workshop. I teach 10 working actors. And because I don't want to teach them acting from the ground up. Once you learn to act, I can help you get over different mistakes and things like that. But I teach them how to create an unforgettable character. It's called the Character Workshop, and I do it twice a year.
So, is it on the East Coast or West?
I do one. The last one I did in Nashville, Tennessee. So I'll do one in the South, and then maybe one on the West Coast, or I'll do one in Vancouver, and then maybe one in New York. It just kind of depends, you know. But I'm all done for the year. But next year I'll pick 2 cities, and then I'll go and teach actors from those cities, and I'll stay 3 to 4 weeks, and do my workshop twice a week.
Okay, and how does someone become involved in it or participate in this workshop? You only train 10, so the competition's got to be fierce.
Right. Well, everybody auditions, and I'll pop up if there's a film festival in your community. I would do it up to 4 times a year. But if there's a film festival in your community, just ask the film festival to invite me down to teach the character workshop, because that happened in Nashville with the Nashville Black Film Festival, and they paid for me to be there, so the workshop was actually free because it was under the veil of the Nashville Black Film Festival. So the students did not have to come up with the money to pay me.
Oh, that is phenomenal.
Yeah,
that is phenomenal.
Yeah, you know what? You guys can hit me on Facebook and let me know you're interested. I have Sasha to help me out, and my wife Sandra. So we'll get it coordinated. If I can get enough interest in your area, then I'll bring the character workshop to your town, and we'll get it on.
Oh wow. Oh, well, okay. I'm writing this down right now. Yeah, you're coming to Harrisburg. Okay, it's the center of the universe. You'll love it here. Harrisburg is the capital of Pennsylvania. It's not Pittsburgh. It's not Philly. I don't know who started that rumor. It's Harrisburg. It is the center of the universe. You will be coming here. Pack your bag. We'll try to make it a spring thing because it's too cold. Let me just give a shout out to all those. All those listening online. You guys can call in and speak with Mr. Mykelti Williamson. That number is 347-539-5805. I'll say it again, 347-539-5805. Now, when you dial in, listeners, if you'd like to talk Don't be shy. If you'd like to talk, press the number 1, and that kind of raises your hand on my switchboard. So I see a couple of callers here now. You guys have not pressed the number 1. If you press the number 1, then I know to give you a call. Remember, this is a family show. I know
right.
how sometimes the women get when I have the men on the show, and I have a quick, finger here, so I'll turn you off in a minute if you're a little disrespectful. Mind your manners. We're on with Mr. Mykelti Williamson, who just mentioned that he has a wife, Sandra. I did not know that. So,
my wife is
do you have children as well?
My wife is a commercial actor, and she's from Atlanta, Georgia, and we have 2 daughters. I have 3 daughters, but my wife and I have 2 daughters together. They're 13 and 12.
Wow. Now, what's life like for? I always wanted to have a show with just wives. Like I would like your wife on the show and Denzel's wife on the show, because as a woman, I know why I'm not married to a good-looking actor. It wouldn't be pretty. I'm telling you that now. So, I always appreciate men like yourself who always, give a nice shout-out for the wives, because, that can be a little, little touchy for me. But maybe that's just me. I don't know. Hey, listen, Mykelti, we have another caller on the line. Caller from 0974. You are on the air, living a dream with Mr. Mykelti Williamson. Go ahead.
Hello, Mykelti. I love the fact that they call you T. Can I call you T?
Yes, you may.
Well, T, first of all, like the other caller, Bubba, it was just a fabulous, fabulous character. But what I want to know is, what got you from acting to directing, and which do you enjoy the most?
Well, I enjoy them. Thank you so much for the love, the Bubba love, as I call it. And I actually enjoy both. My first love is acting, but I think my greatest love is filmmaking, because I get to hire talented people I believe in and bring them all together to fulfill a vision. And that I like, because as an actor, I normally travel with 2 other guys. I have a security guy who travels with me, and then I have my production partner, James, who travels with me. And so it's normally the 3 of us. But as a director, I get to hire like 40 people, So that I really, really dig. I like it a lot. Yeah.
So does it bother you that you have to be away from your family so much and being so busy?
That's the tough part, but my family, they get it, and I'm home. I'm away from my house no more than 2 weeks. That's the way I structure my deals. If you want me to come and do your project, then I'll have to get home every other weekend, or my family has to come to me. So you'll have to buy tickets to bring them to me. So
oh, wow, that's great.
I try to take it easy on the production, but that's the way I've been rolling for years. And the only time I've ever been away from my family for longer than 2 weeks at a time was in Africa. But my wife joined me for 10 days after I was there for a month. So that, you just make it work. You just keep in mind that, you're going to be bringing this big fat check home. So, everybody stays focused, and we just make it work.
Thank you, caller.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
and I look forward to seeing you on the screen again.
Thank you. And before you go, listen, you mentioned Bubba, so did the first caller. I actually have my own seasonings and spices. I have a website, an online store called bubbastyle.net.
Really?
Yes. You've had Cajun style, you've had Southern style, but you've not had Bubba style. So I make all natural seasonings. So check out bubbastyle.net. Check us out.
I will.
Yeah, and then send a note that I talked to you on the show, and I'll stick something in the box for you.
Thank you. I will do that as soon as I get off the air. Thank you.
All right, cool.
Well, can I want something in the box?
All you got to do is go.
How'd that happen? How'd you bypass me? That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Let me ask you about that. Bubba, I know that Bubba has been such a part of your life.
Right.
What's the question I want to ask? Has it ever been overwhelming to the point of just, have you ever felt like you were stuck in a box?
No, never. Because I change characters all the time in the industry. Fortunately for me, it wasn't the first, second, or third job I'd ever done. I had done 200 different episodes of television by the time I did Forrest Gump. So people knew what I did. I'd done some movies, but I'd done so many hours of television. Like I said, over 200 hours of television. So people knew that the industry actually knew that I was a real guy. I was an actor playing this character, but it's interesting because that character almost a lot of people didn't get it. The publications and things, for example, Jet Magazine, my former manager, she called Jet Magazine and tried to get me a cover, and they said, "Oh no, he's too ugly." And I'm listening on the speakerphone, and I was like, "Wow." And the woman actually said that I was too ugly, that I wouldn't be getting a cover. And she said, "Do you have any idea what he really looks like? That he was playing a character?" But they would not hear it. They would not hear it. So after Forrest Gump, it's like the black publications just couldn't get behind the fact that an actor played that role who looks nothing like that. So, I lost a little momentum. I think I could have accomplished a couple more things, but it was my own people. Kind of like Whoopi when they picketed her movie. And then had her movie shut down. The Color Purple, they picketed and stuff like that. And it's like you can't hurt your own people. You got to pay attention. You know what I mean? Because everything black folks we get our hands on, we take it to the highest level. So, that's basketball, that's fashion, that's medicine. It's whatever it is. We're very blessed people, so we always take it to the highest level. So people just have to stay open-minded and not close doors when they see something new that they've never seen before. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh. Yes, absolutely. And that really upsets me because, we are people of various shades, styles, likes, dislikes. Hey, there are several Bubbas out there. Should they not be represented?
I know.
Should their face not be on the magazine? That really upsets me. Boy, oh boy, now you got my blood boiling. So it's probably a good time to take another caller.
All right.
Caller, your last four digits are 8048. You are living a dream with JBlairBrown and Mr. Mykelti Williamson. Go ahead.
Hello, J. Blair and Mr. Williamson. First of all, I'm so sorry I'm calling in late. I had it on my calendar. I really wanted to make this show today. But my question has probably already been answered, so please excuse me. But I am
No, go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, I wanted to know what is the one high point of your career and the lowest point of your career, and why?
Oh, boy, let me see. The highest point of my career is when the check comes to the mailbox. And you open
your wife and your family.
Listen, baby, that is always a highlight, okay? And
okay.
I would say the low point of my career is when I see art sink to a very low level, like women on record being called the B word and the H word and stuff like that.
Okay.
That to me, it turns me off because when I was a kid, we all were striving to be like a Bill Cosby or Sidney Poitier, and Diane Carroll, that level. And to see art sink to these new lows like it has in the last few years, it really, to me, that's like a low point because I consider myself a true representative of the black face on Hollywood. And then when I see other people taint that face, it gets under my skin. So I hope that, and you said my career, but I consider it all a contribution, and myself a contributing factor. But that check in the mail is always a high, and being applauded by your peers, or people stopping me on the street. Or people stopping me on the street asking if they can take a picture with me, stuff like that. That's a high point because you affected somebody.
Good. That's really good that you feel that way.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you for your call.
And best wishes for you.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Wow, that is wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, I too am just appreciative of your graciousness. I wanted to get back though to what you said about Bubba and the problem of you getting on magazines. Now, I don't want to ask which hurts more when it's from someone from another culture or your own, because that's a personal thing. But I do want to ask: have you had that same backlash from other cultures, or have you found that other cultures have embraced Bubba more readily than your own culture?
Well, I've not had that issue with other cultures, and ironically, on the phone, this person from Johnson Publications told my manager, and I'm listening. She said, "We are not trend setters, we are trend followers." And I sat there and I looked at my manager, and I was embarrassed that I was so hopped up to get on the cover of like Ebony and Jet, and my manager calls on my behalf. I'm in the hottest movie in the country, on the earth at the time, and couldn't get arrested by my own black publications. And so for me, I don't get judged like that with other cultures, not at all. I mean, Latin people, I have such a huge Latin following, and I'm so blessed by it. But now, it's all changed. Black folks see me now, and they're like, "Oh my God, what's up?" I'm like, "Hey, what's happening, bro? How you doing, sister?"
Right.
But it wasn't that way when I was at when Forrest Gump was like the hottest movie on earth. I couldn't get arrested by my own people. But that's, it kind of is what it is, man. We all grow, we all live, and we learn.
Have you been on Jet or Ebony since then with other films?
Yeah, I have. I haven't done an Ebony cover, but that's cool. I've done other covers. You know what I mean? I've had some nice spreads in GQ and different magazines like that, So it's cool. It's all working out. Everything is good. Like I said, you live and you learn. But I figured if Flavor Flav could get a cover, I know I could get a cover, but I couldn't.
Man, I hear what you're saying. I'm with you. I'm with you on that one.
Yeah.
We have another caller from 9331. I think this is an old friend of mine. Go ahead, caller from 9331.
Hey there, Jay. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you, Leonard?
I am fantastic.
I knew you would call in. Hey, Mykelti, I want to introduce you to another very fine actor, Mr. Leonard Dozier. And when he found out you were on the show, he Facebooked me and said, "Oh, your show is just great. I'm just so happy." He's like one of my all-time favorites. So go ahead, Leonard. Do your talking.
Yeah. First of all, excuse the background noise. I'm here in New York, and as you know, in New York, there's never any quiet. So,
right.
But Mykelti, first and foremost for me, I said to Judith the other day, I said, Mykelti Williamson is my hero. And, when I came up as an actor, I think the first time I saw you, brother, was actually in Forrest Gump, and then afterward Heat. I was sophomore, junior in high school, at the pretty much at the point of beginning my career. And at that point, literally, you were like not only just sort of an actor figure for me, but a surrogate father.
Oh,
and,
that's very
no,
kind.
And I mean that in the truest sense of the word. You have been single-handedly, even the leaps and bounds that I've made in my own career, I attribute 40% of it to you, unbeknownst to you.
Wow.
And you've just been a tremendous inspiration to me as an actor. And there's so many. Basically, there's also a lot of parallels in our lives. I understand that doing research on you as a kid, you came from the basketball world like myself and left basketball to pursue acting. And so I said to Judith the other day, I said, we have some parallels too. So it's just interesting. It's just a real honor to talk to you. And I guess if I do have any question for you, it's is there any role or character that you want to play that you haven't played yet?
Yeah, there's a gentleman I met, and first of all, Leonard, thank you so much for the love, man. And while I have an opportunity to say it, I just want to wish you the absolute finest with your career, and I hope that your career continues to blossom and grow branches, and that you continue to prosper and be in health, brother, as you stack it up, But yes, there are a couple of roles that I would like to play. One is Donny Hathaway.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And the other is an actor who I had the privilege of meeting back in the 70s, and late 70s, and this guy, his name was Lincoln Perry, but they called him Step and Fetch It.
Oh, okay, yes. Yeah,
absolutely. That for me is a dream role, because he was the first black movie star, but he was so despised by his peers for playing that silly character. It was no different than characters people like Red Skelton did, or Jonathan Winters, or any people like that. It was just a caricature of a human being. He was making fun of what people perceived us as being. But he was the first black movie star, and he was such a lonely guy that he would have parties at his house and invite people to his house, and other black folks would steal his silverware and his dishes and take them out the back door, and he would stand there and watch them, because he didn't want to say anything to him, because he wanted them to come back the next time he wanted people to come over. So, there's a lot of stuff going on with this man's life, and I think he's a very, very brilliant and misunderstood artist. And I just would like to do a film that sets the record straight on Step and Fetch It.
Wow. Well, how can we help in making that happen?
What the studios do is they go by who's hot. They don't go by who's best suited for a role. For example,
right.
There's a couple of actors that would play Miles Davis to a hilt. One of those guys is Wesley Snipes, and the other is there's another guy in New York. His name is Michael. His last name escapes me right now, but he was in the 5 Heartbeats. He played the brother who got strung out on drugs and got kicked out of the 5 Heartbeats.
Michael Wright.
Michael Wright is his name. Michael Wright would be brilliant as Miles Davis, and so would Wesley Snipes. But what the studios tend to do is find out who's selling all these different records, and they would give it to somebody. And I love this cat. I'm not dissing this guy. T.I., my boy T.I., would end up playing, Miles Davis, and they don't even look alike. Or my man Terrence Howard. They don't even look alike. But that's what the studios do. You know what I mean? They go by what's hot. And we as a people have to start stepping up and saying, nah, no, no. But, we'll make it happen at some point. Maybe I'll get to do Donny Hathaway and Step and Fetch It. But for me, those are like the last two horizons that, the last 2 projects that I can think of that would really bring it completely home for me.
Wow.
Okay, okay. Hey, Leonard, thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you, Jay. Mykelti, best of wishes to your brother. Peace and love.
Thank you, brother, man. Drop me a line, man. Tweet me or Facebook me or go to bubbastyle.net, check out my spices. Do something, man. Keep in touch, because I'd love to come see your work.
Likewise, I sure will.
Phenomenal.
I sure will. Absolutely.
All right, Leonard. Thanks for the call,
care, brother.
You
sure
too.
thing.
All right, bye.
He is absolutely phenomenal, and I mean, I have no investment in this brother at all. But I will co-sign Leonard until the end. That man is just phenomenal. So, that's very kind of you. Do you do that often? Do you reach out to up and comers or people who you just feel might have something
Absolutely. Absolutely. Always. It's I meet people all the time who want to come out to California and do what we do. And sometimes I advise them to do so, and other times I advise them to wait longer, and sometimes I advise them to think about doing something different. Because, you can just tell that some people don't have the heart that has enough endurance or thick enough skin to get stepped on all the time, because it's about rejection. You can't worry about the rejection part of it, because you can walk in and be great, but you just may not work because of other people who've been cast before you. And I've been in that position where I'm in the room directing. The studio wants a certain actor and actress to play the father and mom, and then this kid comes in, and the kid is brilliant, and you can't use the kid because they don't look anything like the mom and the dad, and you go, guys, come on, what is that? So that happens all the time, where brilliant people come in, but it just doesn't work out for various reasons. Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's kind of sad too. I also had heard, I passed this on to an up and comer. I said, listen, it may not. Don't take it personally. You can't take it personally, or you'll just be crushed. Right. I said, you might not get the part because you're a size 32 and they only have a shirt size 36, or that's just the way it goes. You're an extra large and they only have a medium. So, they're on a budget. You can't bring your own clothes, and there's just a lot of factors. And of course there's that nepotism thing that happens. But I think you're absolutely right that the mental part of it, I think, is just as important as the ability or aptitude at it. Right.
Absolutely. And people have to remember that your attitude determines your altitude. You have to keep a great attitude all the time. I mean, it's important because you've got 100 people, everybody's working long hours, and if you've got this person, this actor who's coming out of a plush dressing room and they're complaining, and these other people have been out in the sun and the cold and the rain all day for like 14 hours, they don't have a place to take refuge, and you come out of your trailer grumping because the tea is the wrong temperature, of course they don't like you. You know what I mean? And of course they're not going to shoot you, and they're going to find an ugly angle and shoot you that way and laugh. Because I know crew members, and I know they've shot people whose noses weren't clean. They shot them at certain angles and never told them, and stuff like that. So, you just gotta be a good person, because they'll get you, man. They will get you.
I gotta tell you, I saw a film, and that is exactly what happened. And the whole time, and it was in the movies, so it was big. And the whole time I'm saying, I cannot believe nobody said, dude, clean your nose. I mean, it was so obvious. It just made me sick. I won't say what the film was, but so that would have happened.
That's real. That's real, because you've got the common folks grinding, busting their hide, and then you've got this like star person who's stuck on themselves. The starlet comes out of her trailer complaining. And hurry up, what's taking so long? And I got to go to the mall. And And, man, the crew, they'll get you, boy. They will set you up. They will stick the sausage to you. I'm like, it's funny.
How do you teach someone, today's, I call them kids. They're half my age, so they're kids. But today's kids, a lot of them don't have that training. That home training. Right. A lot of young ones don't have manners. They don't say please and thank you. They don't know anything except surviving, and being rude to other people. So how do you take one of those kids, and how do you train this kid to be better on set towards, the grip or the makeup artist? What do you say to those people?
Well, that's the beauty of theater. I think every person who wants to be in television and film should start out in theater, because
I agree.
In theater, everybody chips in. Everybody helps to tech. If you hang lights, you build sets, you paint sets, you clean up your own dressing room, you take out your own trash, and it teaches you what it's really all about. So as you climb the ladder, you understand what those jobs are. But the people who go directly to the top, because of nepotism or whatever, if they haven't been taught at home, there's really nothing you can do about that. That just kind of is what it is. And I encourage any actor who works with an actor who's not nice, just do your highest level work so that your footage, when you do get your footage one day to put on your reel, your footage represents you as the actor you want to be represented as, and don't worry about those other people.
Very good. I started out in the theater, and I think that's one of the reasons I did have an appreciation for what goes on backstage, because, you can't help but, until you realize how important that newspaper sitting on the end table was,
right.
you can't help but appreciate the prop person. You can't help, but appreciate like you said, the guy who handles the lighting, because lighting is everything. If you're using the mic and the sound don't work, you appreciate those guys.
Right.
It's true. It's true.
Absolutely.
Okay, I have another question here. First, someone sent me a question earlier today when they found out that I was interviewing you, and he's listening in. I hope I say this name right. Have you worked with Crystal Clear Roberson? Is that her last name? She's out of Atlanta.
Brilliant.
He wants to know, she's a very good friend of Daryl Moore's, and he wanted to know, what was it like? How did you enjoy your experience working with Crystal?
Crystal is brilliant. I actually saw at a film festival, I saw this short film, and I got a chance to meet the director. And because I stuck around, I wanted to meet the director. So when all the people got away from her and she was by herself, I approached her and talked to her. We became friends. She comes by my mother-in-law's house every time I'm in Atlanta. We sit downstairs in the den, and she hangs out with my whole family. She's actually here in L.A., and I hope to see her maybe tomorrow before I leave for New Orleans on Wednesday. But she's brilliant. Crystal Clear is brilliant. She should be she just shot her first independent full-length feature, but she should be making big movies because she's the real deal. She came up at Tyler Perry's studio, and I don't think they had any idea what kind of talent was over there because she was working in the capacity of like a production assistant, and she just kind of kept it under the radar so she wouldn't offend anybody. But she's brilliant, man. She's the best director I've seen come out of Tyler Perry's camp. And he had no idea she was the director, but she didn't want to rub feathers the wrong way, so she just kind of kept her mouth shut and did what she did. But I'd do a movie for her with her at the helm in a split second. She's awesome.
Wow, sounds like I need to have her on the show. I'm looking for women. I can't find women. I don't know what the problem is.
Wow.
But that's okay. I'll try to start with her. I really will.
Have you had Alfre Woodard on the show?
I'm sorry?
Have you had Alfre Woodard on your show?
No. Do you know how I can get in touch with her? I love her. I adore her.
Yeah.
I adore her. I will definitely make that she's one of my favorites.
Yeah, she's the real deal. Yeah, I know how to find her. I'll get her contact info to Sasha and then have Sasha put you in touch with her.
Look, I already love you, but I will love you forever. Yeah, I mean, she's amazing. I wanted to talk to you because you've been in the industry for so long. What trends do you see? First of all, did you ever think you'd see a time when someone would be able to pick up a $150 Kodak high def cam and do something big on a free website like YouTube? And what do you think about technology today? Where it's been, where it's going, and what are you doing to keep up with it?
Well, I I love the fact that people can pick up a movie camera and just be creative with it and make their own films at home. That's where a lot of the new technology is coming from, and the new styles of storytelling. They're coming from people who don't know what the rules are, and they're just telling stories the way they see them. And so I applaud people who do that. And I never knew that the cameras would be as inexpensive as they are and shoot HD. But I did know that the future of the medium was no longer going to be film, but video. Because in film school, that's what my professor taught me, and people would argue him up and down, and he just would tell you, I'm telling you, video is the future, not film. Video is the future. Electronic.
So he saw that.
Film. Yeah, he knew it. But that's what he told us back in the 80s. He was teaching us that. So I knew it would be video, but I love YouTube and Vimeo and the different networks where you can go on now. In fact, I'm a writer-director on a web series that's on YouTube. It's called WIGS, W-I-G-S. It's Women in Greater Society. But it stands for where it gets interesting. But it's WIGS, and all of these episodes. If you go to YouTube/WIGS, you'll find 100 episodes of television shows. They're 5 to 8 minutes long, and it features strong female leads. And I have the privilege of being one of the writer-directors. I was invited on late in the season last year, and I'll be back this season, but writing and directing, so you'll get a chance to see my work as a writer and a director. And you'll get to see the work of the lovely, talented Dawn Lewis from Different World. I mean, she's in a capacity. Yeah, she's in a capacity that most people don't get to see her in, but I know she's fierce, and she's beautiful, and she's actually studying to do a play right now. She'd be someone else that would be great for you to talk to, is Dawn Lewis. So I'll put you in touch with Dawn, too. Yeah. But,
I would love that. I would love that.
Yeah, but,
I really, like I said, I was in the theater. I've done over 100 live performances. I mean, I was, a real actress, and for whatever reason, I stopped doing that. But my point in saying all that is I have such an appreciation for women in the arts, and I've had producers on who are women. I just can't seem to find the women actors, and that brings me to my next point. Do you think, from a black man's perspective, do you see the unfairness in Hollywood towards different ethnic groups and gender-related issues like that?
Yeah, I see the missed opportunities all the time, and that's what I call them. I call them missed opportunities for the studios and for the artists in question, because everybody has a different story to tell. You can get so much flavor. You got Asian, Black, Latino. You got flavor, Canadian flavor. You got South American flavor. You got African flavor, island flavor. It just goes on and on. And if you keep everything in this little narrow box, I consider it a missed opportunity. And just when things were about to get better, reality television burst it wide open. And that's why there are fewer actors working now than you've ever seen in history, because they find these people who are willing to be foul on camera for a few $1,000s a week, and in the hopes of being foul and famous, and washed up people like athletes' wives they're not even wives anymore.
They're not even wives.
Yeah, they're not even wives, but they get on TV and then they get to be foul, but all the actors' jobs are going away. That's where the jobs for the black actresses are going. They're falling by the wayside because of all this stuff. Yeah, it's a trip, man. it's reality's the killer. But if you go to Wigs, where it gets interesting, like YouTube/Wigs, and you watch some of the episodes, you'll see a lot of the actresses that you haven't seen in a long time. I mean, you'll see Sidney Poitier, who's the great Sidney Poitier's actor's daughter. Her name is Sidney Poitier, and she's on some of these shows.
Right.
Yeah, but you'll see them.
I'm looking at the site now. I'm very impressed. You have 88,000 subscribers, 16.6 million video views. That is amazing.
Right.
It's amazing.
Right.
When did this begin?
Last year.
Okay. For you, it started last year, or did the
Yeah,
whole
last
series
year. I started. Last year was in the fall was the first season, and we shot.
Oh my word!
We shot up until the spring this year. So we go back in less than a month. We go back into production, and I've written some more episodes that are. I will hire people of color to come in, and because they asked me to come on board to bring some flavor, and that's my middle name is Flavor.
All right.
I will be bringing the flavor, so just keep it locked. Check out Wigs. YouTube Wigs, the Wigs channel, and I think you'll enjoy what we're doing with these strong female lead roles.
Oh, I absolutely will. Now, how many episodes are there?
There are. The first season was 100 episodes. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
But they're 5 to 8 minutes long, you said. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can. Yeah, but the whole point is, if you're waiting in your doctor's or dentist's office or waiting for an appointment, instead of picking up a magazine and picking up some germs, you can just jump on your little smartphone and watch a movie, and you're done with it in like 5 to 8 minutes. And all these are designed so that you feel really good about yourself, or it hooks you so you want to watch the very next episode that follows. It's fun, I'm telling you. You'll dig it.
Okay, I'm going to watch it too. I'm absolutely going to watch it. So we're down to our last 2 minutes, unfortunately. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to keep up with you, definitely with your career, but I'm going to do all that I can to make sure you come here to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, center of the union. Before we go, if there's one bit of advice that you can give to someone who's just starting out in the industry on ways not to fall prey to the scammers, what kind of signs should they look for, and how can they find a good agent, manager, something like that? What can you tell them?
Well, the first thing you want to keep in mind is that you should never, ever pay anyone a fee up front to represent you. When they get you a job, then they get 10% of that. You should never do any dealings with anyone who wants more than 10%. An attorney gets 5% unless you pay them by the hour. So managers, agents, 10%, no more than that. And never pay anybody up front to represent you. If they get you the job, then you guys split up the dough. And you always get your check first and pay people right on time. Don't bank your money and then miss paying somebody. That's pretty tacky. And the other thing is, be very, very careful about what people consider paying your dues. Paying your dues doesn't always mean giving people all the rights to exploit you from now on forever. Be real smart about it. Find an attorney or a law student or someone really smart to read your contract if you don't understand it, and only sign something you can live with. Because as soon as you blow up, people will pimp you like you never believed. And the other thing is, whenever you take pictures, look on the internet and get a work for hire contract. It's just a simple one-page work for hire agreement, and you make sure that you own the photography, you own the images that your kids that you take. You make sure you own it, because if you don't, as soon as you blow up, people are going to take advantage of you and start stealing from you, and you'll have no legal recourse. And that's about it. Just keep a great attitude, stay prayed up, and always keep the light on.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Now, before we go, real quick, what is that website?
It's, which one, mine? With the spices?
Yes.
The spices,
yes.
It's BubbaStyle.net. BubbaStyle.net.
All right. Mykelti Williamson, it has been such a pleasure. Thank you so much. I don't think you know just how touched I am and how grateful I am for you to come on to my little show here on Living the Dream with JBlairBrown. We will definitely keep in touch with you, and I will definitely wait to hear how I can get in touch with Alfred Woodard and Dawn Lewis.
Okay,
you said it, and I have it recorded.
All right, great.
So thank you so
I
much.
actually made a note for myself, so as soon as I'm off the phone, I'm going to see if Alfred's number still works. I just talked to Dawn over the weekend, so I know how to get in touch with Dawn. But I'll make sure Alfred's number is still good, and then I'll just take care of it from there.
Okay, and anytime you're promoting anything, just let us know. I'd be more than happy to put it out there. I'm real big on Twitter and Facebook. I'll help you promote it, and if you want to come back to the show, just let me know. It'd be a pleasure to have you back.
Thank you so much. God bless you. Continued success. May every single thing you touch turn to gold.
Oh, I pray so. Okay, thank you so much, Mykelti, and we will keep in touch. You have a good day.
I look forward to it. You too. Bye.
Bye-bye. That's all we have today. There will be no show next week, guys. Thanks for dropping in. Go to Facebook. Like me on Facebook. You guys know where it is, Living the Dream Radio Show. And keep in touch with when my next show will be coming up in 2 weeks. That's all I have. Good day.
Blog Talk Radio, where millions of hosts and listeners gather.